Is Vladimir Putin scared of Volodymyr Zelenskyy? It sounds dramatic, it sounds cinematic. We're talking about a man who is among the most powerful leaders of the world. So let's look at the facts first. In Donald Trump's 28-point peace plan, the plan reportedly being pushed on Ukraine, there are three major conditions that directly benefit Russia. Ukraine must cut its army by half. Ukraine must abandon NATO, no foreign troops, no Western military support on Ukrainian soil. These demands may suggest pressure, but do they signal fear? Or are they simply part of Putin's long-term strategic playbook? Let's break it down. The peace framework developed by the Donald Trump administration, reportedly with inputs from Russian officials, calls for a demilitarized Ukraine with its troop strength cut nearly in half, a permanent block on NATO membership, no foreign bases, instructors or Western weapons stationed in Ukraine, a freeze on further US military aid. On paper, this is presented as ending the war, but on ground, these conditions would limit Ukraine's ability to defend itself, increase Russian leverage, and reshape Europe's security architecture in Russia's favor. So why does Putin want these exact concessions? Now the question is, the Russian president, one of the most powerful, longest-serving leaders on the planet, actually scared of Zelenskyy? The short answer, no. Putin has nuclear weapons, a massive army, vast energy resources, and geopolitical reach. Zelenskyy leads a country under invasion, dependent on Western aid. So there is no balance of personal fear here. But Putin does fear something else. A strong Western armed Ukraine, a Ukraine inside NATO, a Ukraine with long-range Western missiles, a Ukraine capable of hitting Russian territory, a Ukraine that remains politically independent. There is not fear of Zelenskyy the man, there is fear of Ukraine becoming a military might. Zelenskyy happens to be the symbol and the driver of that resistance. Ukraine has transformed dramatically since 2022. It has one of Europe's largest active armies. It has battlefield experience Russia underestimated. It has access to Western intelligence and precision systems. It has struck deep inside Russia repeatedly. This is not the Ukraine of 2014. For Russia, a Ukraine with a full-strength military means higher costs for any future Russian offensive, a permanent military threat along Russia's border, an army that can block Russian influence in Eastern Europe. Cutting Ukraine's army in half achieves two things. Reduces deterrence, Ukraine becomes dependent on US-Russia guarantees, prevents long-term confrontation, Russia avoids facing a rebuilt, NATO-trained Ukraine. So this demand is strategic, not emotional at all. For Putin, NATO is not just a military alliance, it is a political barrier, a security threat, a symbol of a united front. And Ukraine is the biggest red line. If Ukraine joins NATO, Russia loses its buffer zone. Western troops could be stationed minutes from Russian territory. Any future conflict becomes a NATO-Russia confrontation automatically. Putin is not scared of Zelenskyy, but he is trying to lock in a geopolitical advantage at a moment when the US is pressuring Ukraine to negotiate. Europe is divided. Ukraine's offensive momentum has slowed. Russia controls significant territory. Trump's plan gives Moscow exactly what it wants without firing another shot. This is not fear, this is opportunity. A chance to shape the end of the war on Russia's terms while Ukraine still fights for survival. So the answer is simple. Putin is not scared of Zelensky. He may be scared of the Ukraine that Zelensky represents, but not Zelensky.